So what's really nice about this laser is it really can just help stimulate the rotation in the system. So here, as I'm working with him and going through that pelvis, I'm being quite gentle, and this is the kind of movement I'm getting. But even with this, you know, if I'm going through his pelvis, it's not going through his whole system. So I can take this laser and I can come here and just put it on his pelvis. I could put it up on the shoulder if I wanted to. And he just is almost, he's immediately more responsive with the laser. Now he's actually rotating really well this way, and it's not as stimulated as much this way. I can come here with the laser on this side, and that already moves better. And this side actually held the movement pretty good. But now he's moving both ways really quick. And so it can help your lesson go faster, or you just make more of an impact. Whereas, you know, I could have spent 5 minutes on his pelvis to get the kind of movement that I am now, whereas literally it was just putting the laser on and it was taken care of. You know, I've heard Michelle, you know, in situations where she's had a really like something's been really stuck, she's like, I would have had to work on that for 15 minutes. And, you know, for Michelle to say that, that's quite a long time for her to work on something. And she'll literally, like, whenever she gets those stuck moments, she just goes and grabs the laser, sticks it on there for a couple minutes, and then, you know, moves on her way. For you at home, where you may not know what good rotation does or doesn't feel like, the laser can just help with that. And I can really put the laser anywhere. You know, if I put it up here at his head, now you just want to be careful that, you know, the laser's not going into the eyes and it's not going into your eyes, right? But here I can work on, and it's just going down through his spine to see if I can get more response out of that spine, which he did this without the laser, right? But he's definitely engaging more with the laser. And even I can just feel that he moves different. You know, he's holding it a lot longer. Versus, yeah, I had the roll and then he kind of let it go and that arm came back. So that arm's not coming back as much. And when you have more parts and pieces working, I don't need as many hands. And so when you're feeling like, oh, I need more hands, that just means you have less parts and pieces that have the milestone in it, and you just have to break down the movements and be like, okay, let me work on the ankles, the knees, the hips. No, you just have to be more methodical with it. Now this is where too I'd want to be careful with him, because when he rolls, I don't want his eyes to go here into the laser, but he's actually rolling really nice with that. And it just feels so much smoother. So now there's a little bit of a crunch, but I don't want him to crunch. I want that head to come back, something like that. Now, that was still a little bit of a fall, but as you know, as a parent, like, don't worry so much about the perfection. Like, you're just trying. He's on the couch, so it doesn't like it hurt him, you know, but it's like, oh, okay, like I wasn't quite ready for that. He kind of flopped over, but let me try that again. And as long as your child's happy, you know, you just keep trying. And now even just taking that laser away, like, just even the arms staying, which is good, but it's just a completely different feel. Like it doesn't feel as smooth and as ready to be available to what I'm doing. So this laser is really awesome for that. Michelle also really goes into the midline. So when we're talking like going into those cross planes, Michelle goes deeper into like the midlines and covers a lot of things like that. It's just, you know, that's really a game changer for developing your confidence. When you're just like, I'm not quite sure what this is supposed to feel like. And two, I use the laser, like I like Michelle's laser course. It can be a little daunting because it's a, you know, it's advanced. But even just having the laser and literally going through the milestone courses, doing just what I did here, or even Andrea, when you're working with your daughter, you know, it's just going to allow the movement to go further through the system, and you can work on the individual milestones. Like I take Michelle's laser and I just do it with all the exercises. Like I don't just keep it exclusive to that course. And I really like it because um, as you're trying the different exercises, like literally just taking the laser on and off is going to increase your ability to recognize quality. Um, I think, Christine, are you in a place where you can talk? Do you feel like do you feel like can you feel the changes on your son when you're working on laser versus no laser?
I do 100%. It's definitely, I don't even know how to explain it. Some spots which are very stuck are very easily unstuck during the laser work.
No, no, that's perfect. Um, just so you know, I'm like, I know Michelle shows demo, but at the same time, like just how other people are working with it. So that's just really something for your confidence at home. That's probably like the number one thing I hear parents say is they're like, I just can't, I just don't feel confident. And I'm like, get the laser, like it will help you feel confident.
Thanks a lot for this demo with laser. That's really nice. I feel like I
Oh,
will grab now.
Anastasia, you have a laser too.
Oh yeah, and yeah, I have said I'm always cautious about the laser, especially if you have to deal with genetics,
Yeah,
because we totally can observe that it works, and we totally don't know why exactly it works and what kind of possible side effects it might have. But yeah, sometimes you know it's up to you. You weigh your risks and benefits like with any other medicine,
yeah.
and it's up to you to decide. And so for my older daughter who has a genetic condition that potentially might affect uh, cell division rate.
But
So
that genetic condition specifically affects that, right? It specifically affects the cell division, which makes her more prone to like cancer and stuff like that, right?
uh, yeah, like for her, it's not as prominent as to many others that have
Right.
other genes affected, but that is a concern for me.
Yeah, yeah.
And still, I see that the effect is so dramatic that I decided that I will still work a little bit with the laser. I will use it for assistance, or yeah, I have to say, sometimes now last weeks I didn't have so much time to work with your assistant, half an hour while
Yeah,
she's in bed, and instead I will just grab a laser and go for 3 minutes,
right.
simulating the movement here and there. Yeah, but it was also it's really cool to see how we work with Kenneth.
That
Uh,
was that
it,
helpful.
it was very helpful, and it's a totally a different kind of experience compared to what you see in the course, because yeah, you remember there is mostly the grown-up model.
Yeah, yeah. And two, so I'm glad that was super helpful. And even with the laser, you know, I met one parent who literally like used it all the time. Like we don't want the laser to be something that becomes it. Like laser is awesome, but it, you know, if your child knows that that's what makes them move well, like then it's like we don't want it to become an external support. Does that make sense for their movements? Like
Yeah,
the goal of movement lesson is to teach your child how to create the movements internally on their own so that they don't need external support. So that's, you know, as you're using the laser, usually the recommendation on there is like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. Whereas on your
mhm.
2 weeks off, you can put the laser on yourself. This is something I got from Leanne, which I think maybe she got it from Scott, um, who's a practitioner. But you know, when she's working with her daughter on the 2 weeks off, she'll actually put the laser on herself and work on her daughter. And she was funny. She's like, I didn't think it would do anything, but I tried it and it was really cool. But you know, for me
Oh, I can imagine
personally,
that.
say what?
I can imagine that.
Yeah, yeah. And so for me personally, and even with Michelle, like Michelle does not use the laser all day, every day in her clinic. She uses it when there's a really stuck spot and she knows it's going to take time for her to get it unstuck. And the laser just like literally like takes it away in minutes. You know what I mean? Not even that. And so it's something that she used sporadically throughout the lesson. Whereas, you know, someone learning how to do movement lessons, stuff like that, I usually it has a timer on there. So I'll use it for like 30 minutes. And then I don't use it the rest of the lesson. Like I just try to work with my child. And so it's really just there to be a support and not meant to be like a constant stimulant. And you do need to be cautious with it. So, you know, definitely don't put it like in the thyroid or in the sexes area, things like that. Which all that is in the booklet that you get. But yeah, you just, you know, like Anastasia said, you got to weigh your pros and cons. And she's like, okay, I like the benefits of it, but she does it in smaller intervals. It sounds like maybe 5-10 minutes even. It sounds like you may not even go longer than that. I don't know, but that's kind of what I was getting.
No, I am usually, yeah, like there's a time on the laser and I usually look at it. It's always on 3-4 minutes for me.
Yeah.
The way
Well, and I was working with Kenneth on the lowest setting, so it has 3 settings.
Yeah, I also do the lowest.
Yeah. So it does give you some flexibility. Even on adults, like I tend to use the lowest or the middle setting. Even on adults, I feel like I get more results that way. But that's just me personally.
Oh yeah, I mean, I first got so impressed by the laser. I didn't want to use it on my daughter, but I tried it on my husband, and I basically I was so amazed that it brought the movement where there is normally like very fast, bring around the movement.
Yeah.
In no time. So I was really impressed.
Oh, that's so funny. That's cute. Yeah.
And actually, my second question or
Yeah.
comment, I was talking to a friend who just started a movement lesson, and she has quite some success with it. She has a teenage daughter, like in our terms, I would say not severe at all, or and not really severe, but they had a really long way and a rough start in life.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you know, actually for all the child, maybe the laser is really the stuff that you want to do. It will speed you up so much.
Oh yeah, it's so fast. That
so
was
maybe
it
like
takes years.
for the adult, it would be quite beneficial.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's awesome.